The Sevier County Sports Report presents the season preview with the Sevier County Smoky Bears and Coach Todd Loveday.
All right, we're here for the 2026 preview with Todd Loveday, Sevier County Smoky Bears. Coach, how surreal a feeling is it that you're heading into your sixth season already as the head coach?
It goes by fast, and same thing we tell the senior class every year, just how fast it clicks by. I mean, especially once you start the actual practice, it's so routine that the jamboree will hit, and I always remember being in week 8 or 9. It's like, who'd we play in the jamboree? I mean, it goes that fast, and your focus switches. Your mind's geared to change focus so quick, week in, week out. It's goes by fast, but they always say if what you do is not work, then it does tend to fly by. So I'm glad we got a bunch of guys coaching and playing that just enjoy being around each other.
So how's the team look so far through your summer workouts? You've got a brand new line. You graduated 5 starters last year. How's that coming along for you?
Going great. I mean, the best off season we've had. Beginning in January, just the work ethic and the competition in the weight room, which leads on to the field with speed work, agility work. Of course, everybody knows about some of the guys we got committed and all that kind of stuff. But it's everybody top to bottom. That's fastest group we've had, strongest group we've had, top to bottom, and really proud of the offense and defensive lines. Lost a lot of good experience there, but the guys that are plugging in have been with us. They've been working, and some of those guys had some experience on the defensive side, so they've been in some battles and working real hard. Coach McGill and Coach Britton do such a good job with those guys, and this week in the acclimation week, I feel like our O-line is a little bit ahead where we were this time last year, and credit to those guys and the cohesiveness they got, and real tight group.
So what's going to be the biggest difference between this year's team and last year's team?
I think each team has its own identity, but at the same time, when we have so much experience, so many guys that's done it for us, I think that's what kind of connects. That's what makes programs strong, is just a connection from year to year. Don't want to say it's a continuation, but the expectations are always the same. The standards are always high, and we keep pushing them to keep raising the standards. These guys have done that.
So speaking of identity, after the last game's been played, whenever that is, what do you want the identity of this team to be?
These guys played the right way, left it out on the field, and got exactly what they earned and deserved.
So heading in, last year state runner-up, state champs in 24. What are your expectations heading into the season so far?
We don't really, told them the other day in our first meeting before practice, it's, a lot of teams state their goals and, whatever they may be. I found out that it's work. Just we got to get better at that. We got to stack days together. And when you're doing all of that, the scoreboard takes care of itself for that day and for that game. And you play your regular season schedule, and whatever the scoreboard says where we are, it's what we've earned, and then from there, just tournament time, take it one game at a time.
So everybody already knows about Parker, Cooper, Jackson, and your returners. Who else has really stepped up so far? It's early into the summer, but who's stepped up so far? Man,
it's a good problem to have. It's one of those deals where I know I'm going to leave people out. It's so many guys have stepped up. Nathan Patterson had his best spring, I think, because he's played a lot of ball for us anyway. Super proud of Braden Russell. He stepped up as one of our leaders. A little undersized as an inside backer, but he's, I wouldn't want to have anybody in there in place of him for everything he brings to the team. He's really come along as a leader. Braden Maples came to us new in January. He's completely blended in and completely unselfish team guy, and which says a lot about the culture these guys have set. A lot to mention. I think everybody knows about Zach Banks. I think he's going to get the attention of a lot of college people this season. He's running real well. Guys like Grady Clark played a lot of ball for us. He's gotten himself faster. Noam Mendoza up front. Guys like Drake Meek, Jensen Smith. Got a transfer from William Blunt, Blackburn, who's a very athletic lineman who's going to help us. I can keep going. I'm sure I'm missing people. Elijah Valentine, another transfer at defensive end, and I'm pointing some of the transfer guys up because they've handled it the right way. They came in and regardless what their roles used to be, wherever they were, completely bought into the team, and these guys know as many guys as we can play on a Friday. It's a coach's job to find a place to put them to help us win on Friday, and the more that can play, the better.
So Coach Hutchins and the junior high program have done a really good job the last couple of years. Are there any of the freshmen, the younger players, that have really caught your eye and you're like?
What I'm impressed with those guys, last few years, especially with the freshmen, is when we get in the weight room, Coach Britton handles the weight room with those guys, and they know the basics of lifting. It might sound silly. They know how to warm up. They're used to a high school type practice. We might be a little faster on some things, but they tend to pick up on it pretty quick because they've been doing something very similar for all they could anyway. And a lot of talent in that group. There are 26 of them, and 26 that can help us eventually, because you don't want to throw those guys to the wolves, But I always tell them, once you have the wolf in you, if you have a purple helmet, if you're the best guy, you're going in. We don't care what class they're in, what grade they're in, and that 9th grade year is kind of like the 7th grade year in sports to me. It's kind of awkward because a lot of these guys are used to carrying the load, doing a lot of things, and now they're back to being puppies again, trying to learn the ropes. And credit our older guys. Really good with these young guys on helping them along. There's no such thing as picking on freshmen, making freshmen do this. We want them. They know they're the next step, and to keep this thing going how we want it.
So we've already mentioned a couple of the guys have committed already. Mm-hmm. How important as a program is it to get your guys committed to their program early, to their school, so they can really concentrate on their year?
And I guess selfishly, I love it, but that was not pushed on our end at all. To me, that's a family thing, and but what I am, the common denominator of all those guys, Jackson, Parker, Cooper, and Braden Maples, the common denominator was they did their homework, and they were stubborn in a good way. They knew what fit, and all of them to a man was attracted to the school they went to based on not only what kind of offense or defense, but just on how the locker room was, and all of them have said it. Remind them kind of what we got here. It's a brotherhood thing. Football's a different sport, and that really attracted them to those places. And all of them are confident enough to pull the trigger and say, "This is where I'm going."
So the schedule this year, it's road heavy. I think you've only got 4 home games.
Yeah.
Road games kicking off with Jeff County, or Farragut and Jeff County. How are those challenges going to propel you further into the season?
Yeah, I've never, we never make a big deal about, home or away. Obviously I like being at home just for our people don't have to drive us far. Right. But anywhere we go, we've been in some places where we had more fans than the home team, and a lot of support. And we remind our players, if they don't already know it, on how many people actually keep up with you and expect a good product. A lot of pride around. So we really don't, outside of a pregame routine where our time is a little bit cut, it's no different. So
how fun is it for you and Coach Penland to get to go back to Carson Newman for that first game against Farragut and Coach, where you were?
It was pretty cool, man. It's changed a lot over there with the facilities and stuff, but wouldn't trade. And he'd tell you the same thing. Wouldn't trade that time over there for anything. That's what in addition to high school ball, the program we were in over there, we're just you're used to winning. But we knew it wasn't a light switch. We knew how hard each step of the way was going to be over there to win, and we were held to a high standard. And I think that's what comes out in us as we coach our guys.
So how important is it for you to get off to a good start this year? Maybe click off a couple of wins really early.
Yeah, open up with Farragut, but we really focus on ourselves. And outside of mentioning who we're playing, it's all about, okay, here's how they line up, here's their main guys, this and that. don't even talk about who we're playing after that. It's just pretty much a game plan, and we're trying to make ourselves better that day to build on for the next week.
So going into some more of the team culture stuff, what kind of values do you want your guys to carry onto the field on Friday nights, Thursday nights, whenever the game may be?
The best compliment is opposing coaches that keep up with us or whatever, or play against us, whatever, is, man, your guys play hard. I mean, coaches know what going hard is and what not going hard is, and that's the biggest compliment to me. Like, speaking of a defense, man, your guys fly around. I mean, might make some mistakes here and there, but they are flying around, playing together. Offensively, I mean, it'd be easy to think, man, you got everything quarterback. They must just throw it every down. But the compliments we get, you guys are so physical at the point of attack, and it's if we have to run it all night, we'll run it. If we have to throw it, we'll throw it. But even the passing game is a physical aspect with how our perimeter guys block downfield, and really unselfishly doesn't care who gets the credit. And so we push that, and our guys buy into it. They don't care who gets the credit for it.
So kind of going back onto the offense and stuff, what can the fans expect as far as like offensive, defensive schemes? Very similar, a few changes, I'm sure, with the new personnel that's come in.
Yeah, I think I don't want to say pretty much the same thing, but like I said a while ago, it depends on how some teams play us. I mean, might light up the scoreboard throwing the ball, or it could be grinded out here and there. It depends on who we're playing and what kind of schemes they have. But the main thing, they'll see an unselfish team who play together and play it for the right reasons.
So as a former Smoky Bear myself, and seeing the Bear Walk when I was young, when you were playing, Chucky Molden and all those guys coming through the stadium, how special is that for you to have brought that back, see the community gather around the kids?
I think it's what it's about. I mean, I think a lot of people they forget that where our stadium's built, 8-lane track, fans are pretty far away from the guys, and if you didn't really know them, you might not ever really see them up close. So that's kind of a tribute to. It's kind of a two-way street. I want the fans to get even closer to them as when they're getting ready to go out there, and I'm sure there's a lot of anxiety with fans and players, and I want our players to see. Sometimes if you're down there, unless you're turning around looking up there, you might not know what we got in the crowd. So I think that brings a little juice, and to me, it's just a good tradition. I wanted to bring that back right away, and that's pretty fun.
So this is almost a loaded question, but I want to ask it. How do you define a successful season for the Sevier County Smoky Bears?
And this coach speak stuff, to improve each week. I never really talk about results. I mean, you can't really focus on results, but because every team's grinding, every team, we're going to get everybody's best effort. We're playing some real good teams, and to play as long as we want to play, mistakes are going to have to be far and few between. So to me, it just control everything we can control, and not giving the opposing team any chance to jump on us in any way. So we got to take care of the football like we tend to do, and we got to take the football away and play the game the right way. We're not going to run our mouth and carry on like that. We're going to win the right way. I always tell them we win together, we lose together, we cry together, we laugh together. But as long as we're together and still alive, we'll be okay next week.
So just a couple more. The fan support, and I talked with Cooper and Parker about this when I talked to them. The community support is unmatched.
Right.
How has that evolved from like your time here as a player to now as a coach?
I think it just gradually climbed even more and more than you would even imagine. But and I also remind our guys. I mean, if we didn't play the right way, if we showboated, if we showed horrible attitude, if we loafed, we'd lose some true fans. I mean, because they come to see a good brand, and when you see that at the college level, and even NFL with teams losing a lot of support, it's typically how a team not necessarily wins and losses, but to me it's an effort thing and an attitude thing, and just playing the game the way it's supposed to be played.
So how fun is it for some of the wrinkles that B's thrown in, the blackouts, the dark modes, all that? How's that? I mean, it's great for the kids.
Yeah.
How much do you enjoy the different wrinkles like that?
I enjoy it, but at the same time, I'm in charge of, making sure everything's routine, and we always talk about distractions, whether that's weather or whatever. We always talk about stuff like that, but I think it's a cool thing, and I think the community likes it, and the school seems to get, gives them another opportunity to, buy a different colored shirt and have some kind of theme for the student section. I think it's all pretty cool as long as we don't get too crazy with it.
All right, so last question. What's your message to the Sevier County Smoky Bear fans this year? Come out, support.
Yeah, just, show up early, be loud, and these guys are reminded every day on it's a lot of accountability and responsibility to play here and to coach here. And it's our job to put a product out there, and but that job's done in practice, and that way on Friday they turn it loose and put on a show.
All right, Coach. Thanks. Good luck this year.
Thank you. Appreciate it.